nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
This is the first time any chamber of the National Assembly has undertaken such an initiative.
Speaker Abbas Tajuddin rates 10th House high as the Green Chamber marks its first anniversary. Says so far so good.
They were drugged, they were brainwashed, and they were imported to come to Gaza.
And tough talks as lawmakers debate the recent bombings in Borno State. You are welcome to today's edition of House Tickets. My name is Dihelia Mamza. Many thanks for tuning in. Lawmakers at the House of Representatives reassembled for plenary last week, precisely on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024. This episode of House Tickets will bring you a summary of what transpired during the one day that they sat in plenary. In another development, the Speaker of the House has unveiled the one-year scorecard of the 10th House of Representatives in a special event tagged Open Week Celebration. Details of this event and other engagement of our lawmakers when the program begins fully. Please stay tuned. Glad to have you back. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, said that the 10th House of the National Assembly in its first legislative session introduced a total of 1,351 bills and successfully passed 89 of them. Speaker Abbas, who was represented by his deputy, Right Honorable Benjamin Okeze Kalu, stated this in his message to mark the commencement of the second session of the 10th House during plenary of Tuesday, 2nd July 2024. He said with that number of bills, the 10th House has surpassed the previous ones since the return of democracy in 1999.
Key bills include the Access to Higher Education Act 2024, popularly known as the Student Loan Bill, and the Electricity Act Amendment Bill 2023, which aims to enhance the efficiency and sustainability of Nigeria's electricity sector by promoting investment in renewable energy sources. Furthermore, the Federal Audit Service Act Amendment Bill 2023 strengthens financial oversight and transparency, ensuring better management of public funds and reducing corruption. Colleagues, additionally, 679 motions were introduced, setting a record for the number of motions in the first section of any parliament.
The Speaker, however, called on his colleagues to brace up for the challenges ahead of them in the second legislative year, noting that the 10th House has been called upon to serve at one of the most challenging times in the nation's history.
As we begin this second section, honorable colleagues, we must acknowledge that there are challenges ahead. Despite our efforts, Nigeria continues to grapple with issues of poverty, issues of unemployment, issues of inequality. The expectations of our constituents remain high, and they look up to us to address pressing issues such as security, economy, healthcare, education, and infrastructure. The gains of democracy must translate into tangible improvements in the lives of our citizens. As legislators, we are aware that our work is far from complete.
The House then settled to consider matters of urgent public importance and motions on the other paper, as well as bills at first and second reading. On motions, the House in the week under review discussed as a matter of urgent public importance the urgent need to check the outbreak of cholera in Nigeria. The motion was moved by the Minority Leader, Representative Kingsley Chinda, alongside 2 other lawmakers.
According to NCDC, while the latest outbreak of the disease have been reported in Lagos and 31 other states across the country, including Abia, Bayelsa, Bauchi, Cross River, Delta, Imo, Nasarawa, Katsina, and Zamfara states, amongst others. The House is concerned about the public and personal health of teeming Nigerians, largely due to lack of access to clean water, poor sanitation, poor personal hygiene, etc. The House is worried that there is an urgent need for quick action or intervention by the federal and respective state governments to curb the disease from further spread across the country.
Representative Chinda, in his prayers, called on the federal government to set up adequate mechanisms to halt the further spread of the disease. He also called on the House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values, as well as that on healthcare services, to ensure proper information, orientation and collaboration with relevant agencies to ensure the scourge is halted in its wake and reports back to the House. The motion was voted on, adopted and referred to the House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values, as well as that on healthcare services.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Another matter of urgent public importance was on the need to condemn in strong terms the bombings in Goza local government area of Borno State. It was moved by Representative Ahmed Jaha Babao.
The 30 young men who lost their lives ranges between the ages of 35 downward, including teenagers and infants, celebrating wedding ceremony of their friend in a public place close to a public park, just to intensify and tell the whole House the degree of the loss Nigerians recorded just on Saturday, 29th day. Secondly, in addition to the 30, more than 136 people are critically injured and are receiving treatment in various hospitals in Maiduguri. Thirdly, I want us to know that the suicide bombers, after identifying their faces, it was discovered that they were recruited, they were drugged, they were brainwashed, and they were imported to come to Goza from somewhere to cause this issue. They came in uniform, what is normally called in the northern part of Nigeria anko. They are wearing the same color of uniform. So it's a wake-up call for everybody in the country.
In his prayers, Representative Jaha called on the House to stand united in condemning these attacks for the preservation of the sanctity of human lives. He called on security forces to step up efforts in intelligence gathering and cooperation with one another to be proactive against such attacks. Representative Jaha called for collaboration between communities and the security forces in order to forestall future threats. He called on the House to condemn the attacks and send a strong message that the House will not stand for insecurity and will ensure the protection of Nigerians living all over the nation. He further called on the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence to investigate the matter and report back to the House in 2 weeks. Several lawmakers made contributions to the debate.
In the last 1 year that we got inaugurated into this House, there is one too many. Mr. Speaker, I think it's high time. We've had jailbreaks, nobody has been sacked. People are killed, nobody has been sacked. It's high time we find somebody responsible.
Until we come to a point where a pain in the north is a pain in the south, and a pain in the south is a pain in the north, we are not yet Nigerians. Our being true citizens of this country reflects on how we share this burden together.
My request is that we should put all hands on deck, that the all-society approach strategy should be used to detect these type of actions before they happen. That is why I would always suggest that the committee which you chair on constitutional review should please prioritize state police.
From the inception of insecurity problem in Nigeria, I cannot see a clear deterrent that was served on any person that attacks on people of Nigeria was meted as a result of his complacency. Until and unless we begin to hold people responsible and accountable, people will be posted to particular areas and the people of that area's lives are not being protected. And you cannot hear like it happened during military juntas.
The motion was referred to the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence. A motion from the other paper sought a resolution of the House to mandate the Committees on Public Service Matters and Public Sector and Institutional Reforms to investigate promotion stagnation in the Federal Civil Service from 2013 to 2023 with the intention of encouraging a more effective and efficient civil service and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The motion, captioned "Stagnation of Promotion in the Federal Civil Service," was sponsored by Representative Salman Idris.
The civil service requires a comprehensive reform prioritizing timely and fair promotions and remunerations to align with global best practices. Cognizance that promotion stagnation in civil service requires urgent intervention to achieve government policies and programs. Consider that civil servants who undergo mandatory examinations are promoted nominally but not financially despite adequate recurrent expenditure in the annual appropriations budget for ministries, departments and agencies. Disturbs that the promotion stagnation affect the career of an officer in civil service, as every civil servant is expected to reach his peak within 35 years in active service or by the retirement age of 60 years.
The motion was supported with an amendment.
I want to ask the House to please kindly include the Committee on Federal Character in this exercise.
When the motion killed voting, the House Committee on Public Service Matters, Public Sector and Institutional Reforms, as well as that on Federal Character, was mandated to ensure the compliance to the resolution of the House on the matter and report back in 4 weeks.
Those in support of the motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Still from the other paper was a motion titled "Alleged Mismanagement of Government Agricultural Initiatives and Funding by Departments, Agencies and Government Programs Outside the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security." It stood in the name of Representative Chike John Okafor.
The federal government, through various schemes and interventions in the last 8 years, have spent over 2 trillion naira in funding agricultural interventions with the view of making food available for millions of Nigerians. But due to the alleged mismanagement, misapplication of funds, and abuse of the programs, Nigeria is still experiencing food scarcity and malnutrition. Worried that the agricultural sector plays a crucial role in ensuring food security, improving nutrition and supporting the livelihoods of millions of Nigerians, and any abuse on the programs and schemes of government drastically affects millions of innocent citizens.
The House then resolved to mandate the Committees on Nutrition and Food Security, Agricultural Production and Services, Agricultural Colleges and Institutions, as well as that on Finance, to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the alleged misuse of government interventions and agricultural funding by departments, agencies, schemes and programs of the federal government outside the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. When the motions killed voting, it was referred to the Committee on Nutrition and Food Security, Agricultural Production and Services, Agricultural Colleges and Institutions, as well as that on Finance.
This motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Moving on to bills, The House last week took the second reading of a bill for an act to regulate the planning, preparation, passage and execution of the budget of the government of the Federation and for related matters. It was sponsored by the Speaker, Abbas Tajuddin, alongside Representative Mohammed Umar Bio. In leading the debate, Representative Bio stressed the importance of proper planning, preparation, auditing, passage and execution of the budget of the government of the Federation, being the template on which all financial matters of the country is based.
In Nigeria, therefore, the budget process is confronted with a number of issues, from bloated overpriced budget to irregular budget cycle, coupled with annual late presentation of budget estimate to the National Assembly. The preparation of budget, the content, implementation, issues relating to borrowing, and for what are other issues not properly addressed in the existing laws. Some of these issues arise from the gap in the Constitution.
The bill was voted on, approved and referred to the House Committee on Budget, National Planning and Economic Development. Meanwhile, 13 bills were presented for first reading last week. They include Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Harrison Anozie Nwadike, Federal Vocational Skills Acquisition College, Ibagwaka, Enugu State, Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Mark Chidi Obeta, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 6th Alteration Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Ikpong Ete. Thanks for staying tuned to House Tickets. Wednesday, 3rd July 2024, the 10th House of Representatives held a two-day event tagged Open Week to celebrate 25 years of unbroken legislature in the history of the National Assembly. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, while declaring the event open, stated that the 10th House under his leadership has ensured an inclusive and participatory legislature in the past 1 year. He pointed out that the House has been implementing its legislative agenda, which was introduced in October 2023, amongst other issues. For more from this event, let's take the next report as compiled and presented from our studio.
The event, being the first of its kind in the Fourth Republic, was organized for all members of the House by the Speaker, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, with the aim to sensitize the public as well as members and critical stakeholders of the achievements of the People's House. During his presentation, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin acknowledged the challenges before the House flowing from the socio-economic hardship confronting Nigerians. He said the Green Chamber rose to the occasion by introducing a total of 1,351 bills, the highest number in any first session since 1999, with 89 of the bills passed. He emphasized that the most critical aspects of citizen engagement is accountability, noting that the 10th House of Representatives has been committed to running an open house that actively incorporates citizens' input in lawmaking and oversight processes.
We have made concerted efforts to listen to the voices of our constituents and reflect their aspirations in our legislative activities. Through town hall meetings, public hearings, and stakeholder engagements, we have ensured that the legislative process remains inclusive and participatory. This approach not only enhances the quality of our laws, but also ensures that our decisions are rooted in the genuine needs and desires of the Nigerian people. One of the most critical aspects of citizen engagement is accountability. Today, we take a historic step by presenting the scorecard of the House in its first year. This is the first time any chamber of the National Assembly has undertaken such an initiative.
Speaking on the oversight visits and inspections by the House in 1 year, the Speaker disclosed that the House committees visited 107 ministries, departments, agencies, and projects nationwide. Speaker Abbas also noted that these efforts and the resultant effect were products of a harmonious working relationship that exists between the 10th House and the executive arm of government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Earlier, while delivering his welcome address, the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, underscored the importance of an open legislature which will enable lawmakers to prioritize legislative actions that will help to meet the need of Nigerians, adding that lawmakers have a responsibility to understand the nation's urgent needs and address them accordingly.
This inclusive approach, ensuring all voices are heard, is a model for effective governance. The hard work and ingenuity of the entire 10th House leadership is truly commendable. It is a privilege to collaborate with them in delivering the transformative potential of the 8-point legislative agenda. This 8-point agenda focuses on strengthening good governance by promoting transparency, promoting accountability, and the rule of law, improving national security to ensure the safety of all Nigerians, modernizing and strengthening our legal framework, stimulating economic growth and job creation.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, who represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the event, had this to say.
The chosen theme, improving inclusion through citizens' engagement, is apt, timely and vital because it underpins the importance of not just the need for executive legislative collaboration, but also the significance of effective oversight for greater accountability to all Nigerians that elected us into office in different capacities.
Invited guests gave their goodwill messages at the event.
It is very important that we cultivate the issue of interactive engagement at our constituency level. Engagement is not only in Abuja, but is from the grassroots, the constituencies to Abuja. That is bottom-up approach.
I've been following the events happening in the House of Reps, and I can say that I've seen some robust debate and some level of involvement, because they say democracy, charity begins at home, but I can see democracy at the level of the House of Representatives. That is the reason why I'm here today to commend you and to support you.
The legislature has shown its strong ability to legislate, that in any democracy, the key contributions of the legislature is its ability to hold government to account and be able to ensure that public funds are very well utilized for the benefit of development and the people.
Highlights of the event was the unveiling of the one-year scorecard of the 10th House of Representatives. Also contributing to the conversation as panelists were traditional rulers led by the Etsu Nupe Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, the chairman, Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, the Nigerian Bar Association represented by the president Yakubu Mekiao, speakers as well as members of some state houses of assembly, ministers among many others. The event continued with interactive sessions presided by the speaker Abbas Tajuddin as well as his deputy Benjamin Okezie-Kalu. Other panelists representing traditional substitutions from various parts of the country, as well as members of the House, also made a case for the constitutional recognition of traditional institutions for the purposes of complementing government's efforts towards maintaining peace and security.
This is where we end the program for today. Tune in again next week for more insights into the activities of lawmakers at the Green Chamber. Until then, thanks for watching and bye for now.